And the funniest part is, right, the Pogues have already said that it's fine, and Kirsty MacColl changed the lyrics in all of her live sets from as early as 1992. So the people getting worked up over the use of that word not being in a Christmas song anymore are all fucking homophobic.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome everybody to the Big Damn Cast. We're an old slut and drunk. My name... Well, I'm a bit drunk, I'll be honest. Geeky Gossip, Nerdy News. My name is Chris. One more, please, Vicar Johnson.
And I am Circling the Drain.
That's the name of your first EP, isn't it?
That's just where I am.
We were talking about shit and things that circle drains. We just before we started recording, we were just suddenly talking about Limp Bizkit. I can't remember how we got onto it, but we were. Oh, that was it. You said we're rolling. No, I went rolling, and then we just went off on a tangent. But it ended with the most beautiful thing ever. In that, I said that, like, I think we almost agree that after that one track, we all realised, do we really need Limp Bizkit? And Matt so eloquently said, I think society has realised it's grown beyond the need for Fred Durst.
The Red Cap's time has been and gone.
Oh, no. When you word it that way, the Red Cap came back with a vengeance these last few years. Albeit for a different kind of monster.
Oh.
Fred Durst is a director now.
Well, I mean...
Well, he's directed something. There we go.
Anyone can make a film and call themselves a director. In this day and age.
Yeah, that's true. That's very fucking true. Oh, God.
McG calls himself a director.
Yeah. He's a good producer, McG. When he produces stuff, it tends to be stuff I enjoy. Stuff like Chuck.
Terrible at names, though.
Oh, God, yeah. He barely spell his own. Do you know what Lucy rewatched the other day? Which I realised is, like, probably one of my favourite horror films of the last 10 years, weirdly. As Above, So Below.
Yeah, that's pretty good. As found footage movies go, it's definitely one of the better ones.
I had a quick look up, though, because I was like, what is the response to it? Because it really got to me. I have, like, I guess, erratic claustrophobia. Sometimes it bothers me, very rarely, and then I'll just suddenly have an episode once in a million years.
There is some really nasty claustrophobia stuff in that movie as well.
I mean, 90% of it takes place in the catacombs under Paris, and goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's like, oh my God. In the cinema, I was just tense the whole way through. And then on home video, I felt exactly the same way. But she was watching it the other night. She was putting stuff on in the background on Prime while she was making masks. Lucy's_crafty_crafts on Instagram. Folks.
Yeah, we received our masks today. We're very happy with them.
I got my new one today. She said, I saved your second one for the end because I had so many to make. Here it is. So I went shopping today in my Wonder Woman mask, and I was very happy about that.
And what about your cyan tights?
Hey, I was fighting for my rights to get the roll for the loo. Bomb, 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 bomb. Stock 'em on pasta. Anyway, she was watching stuff on Prime in the background, and that came up. She watched a bunch of crap straight to streaming and DVD horror movies, and that came up. She went, "Oh God, yeah, I'll put that on." She's streaming it, and then she took it to bed with her, and it was on the TV when I came to bed. And I'm there going, great, I'm going to have nightmares tonight, but sod it, like, we'll have a cuddle and watch the end of this film. Out of curiosity, I looked it up. Do you know that film has got, like, a largely negative reception?
Yeah, people didn't like it.
I don't get it.
People tend not to like found footage films critically.
Well, I think that was it, because it was 2014, so it was, like, toward the very end of that as a booming genre.
Yeah, definitely in the
superhero genre. Much like the superhero genre, like, was reinvigorated in 99 through to 2002, and then sort of evolves and reappears in its final form and takes over the 2010s.
Yeah.
The found footage film around about the same time period, 98, 99, Blair Witch era, and then the late 2000s with the Paranormal Activity, like, sort of restarts this and restart the whole, this is a genre in itself that we could do things with.
Yeah, I think Paranormal Activity was what brought it into the mainstream. Because I know Rec was remade as Quarantine for the American market.
And
they were still kind of underground
arguably not
movies.
as good.
Hey?
Quarantine's arguably not as good.
No, I don't think there's much arguable about it. I think the general consensus is that it's not as good.
Wreck is phenomenal. Wreck is fucking terrifying.
American remakes tend not to be as good as the films that they're remaking.
That is indeed a truth. But yeah, I looked up the reviews, and apparently As Above So Below's main criticism was, as ye predicted, good sir. Like, we're sick of found footage now. And I'm like, cool. Not many of these are reviewing the film.
No, they're reviewing the genre,
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to throw that one out there now that it's on some streaming services and see if it gets a new audience. Because as far as found footage goes, it's a fucking effective movie. It's not a, we found this tape and you won't believe what you've seen. It's a, no, that you're just seeing it from the POV of the helmet cams that they're all wearing on their torchlights, because they're in catacombs. If we are filming them, you wouldn't believe they were in these tiny spaces.
No.
It's like, yeah, that tracks.
And hey, it's a lot better than the Chernobyl Diaries, I'll tell you that.
She rewatched that this week as well.
It's not very good.
No, she saw it in the cinema and hated it, and then the other night she went, I just watched Chernobyl Diaries. She was like, oh, you saw that in the cinema, didn't you? You thought it was shit. She went, yeah. It's like, what about your reevaluation? She went, I just wasted 2 fucking hours. Okay, sure.
It remains shit.
Yeah. Do you know what else is kind of shit?
What?
The pop cultural landscape right now, Mayhew.
Not just the pop cultural landscape, to be fair.
I mean, everything. But we have managed over this very short lockdown of 2-3 weeks. We're about to hit May now. And wait, what? Sorry, my calendar seems to have blown several months ahead. So I'm sure that can't be right. But
it's 2027.
We've managed in the last 700 episodes since the coronavirus pandemic swept to our fair isle to talk about something every week. We've managed to talk about something new. And we have some new things to talk about this week.
I mean, one could charitably argue that we've talked about nothing the whole time.
Since episode 1 back in 2016, yeah. But we, sorry, I'm eating chocolate. But
As well you should. As well you should.
I'm eating chocolate and drinking Jack Daniels.
I'm not drinking, it's a school night.
Drink some chocolate and eat a frozen piece of Jack Daniels.
I have got some whiskey in the freezer, so...
Have a tiny dram before you go to bed. Just a tiny dram to warm your insides and fall asleep to.
No, I shan't, because I have to drive in the morning.
Yeah, but... All right, fine, Mr. Responsible. So, this week more than most has been bereft. It's a stiff.
Sorry, what?
If you'd have nailed it to the perch, the pop cultural news week would be pushing up the daisies. It sod all has happened. I mean, that being said, now I've quoted the Pirate sketch out loud. John Cleese has definitively proved that he's a fucking turf. So that's fun.
Cool.
Yeah. He back in September said that he would have signed the J.K. Rowling letter, and has since been really going off on the idea of like, men dressed as women is not, you can't choose to be that. That's disgusting, and it's clearly all for predatory reasons. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, John. Great, you too. Wonderful.
Cool.
Yeah. Unless Eric Idle is suddenly revealed to be some kind of monster, the old adage is true. Palin is the nicest python. They always said it. They all said it over the years in documentaries that, like, oh, Michael, he's just adorable. Wouldn't hurt a fly. He's the sweetest fella ever. Like, it's weird to see him get angry because he never gets angry. He's always lovely. He's always full of love for everybody. Now that we've lost Terry Jones, now Cleese has turned out to be a turf. Now that Gilliam has turned out to be fucking bizarre and have his own backwards opinions, especially when it comes to women's rights. You know, we're and Graham, of course, no longer being with us. Chapman not being with us for a long time now. We've got Idle and Palin, and I hope Idle doesn't turn out to be a shit eel because he retweeted me this week, and it'd suck if it turns out he's a twat as well.
Yeah, well, to be fair, you were tweeting about how much you hate the Jews.
Yeah, maybe that was a giveaway. Oh, yeah, he shouldn't have agreed with me. I'm a monster. Clarification. We're joking. Yeah, no, I just, I got a sudden burst of activity on Twitter, and I was like, where the hell's this come from? And it was because Eric Idle had retweeted a pun. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, cool.
No, I love a good pun, says Eric Idle as he retweets the Johnson.
Someone had asked him to come up with they're having a pub crawl in their uni halls, like safe and everything. And so we want to name one of the places after like a Python thing. What's your suggestion? And he came up with, I think he called it the wink and nudge. And then he asked people to come up with suggestions. And I was like, I can't believe no one had mentioned. I just replied with, well, surely the crunchy frog. Because there's the whole sketch with the chocolate quality control. And spring surprise where you bite into it and a spring pierces your cheeks from the inside. With a crunchy frog. I just thought, that'll do. That made me happy. But as far as popular culture is concerned, it's been a goddamn ghost town. In fact, some people have made it a ghost town for health and safety reasons, as well they should.
As well they should.
Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot this week simultaneously released a statement from Patty Jenkins, director of Wonder Woman 1984, revealing that the Christmas Day release, scheduled for the States, so over it would have been the week before, Christmas Day in the States release of Wonder Woman 1984 has been reduced to a very limited number of theatres, ones that are in certain levels of COVID security and numbers. But for the rest of the United States, and indeed anyone who can get hold of HBO Max, so none of us poor bastards over here, they will be able to see Wonder Woman 1984 from Christmas Day on HBO Max at home. Meaning that the last great holdout, the last big name holdout for Christmas, that had been put back to Christmas in, I think it was May we reported on it. Like in May they said November tentatively, and then shortly after confirmed Christmas Day.
Time is an illusion now, so I've no idea when it was.
Yeah, the last one remaining in Christmas that had been put back ages ago has made the correct choice of going, yeah, we do not want to bring people out en masse into theatres right now, but we also don't want people to wait, and around Christmas time people want distractions, so we're just going to put it on a service that, hey, get a free trial or pay for a 2-3 month period and you can watch the movie. It's like, hey, for that price, that's not bad. It's a big loss financially for Warner Brothers overall, but I think it's the right call. If they aren't going to hold it off longer, and they desperately want to put it out this year, then limited screenings in areas with low COVID track and trace numbers, and home release across the United States. They have made the right call. There's two right calls: do this or put it back again.
Yeah.
And I, for one, welcome our Wonder Woman-shaped overlords, because if we do indeed get a platform to watch it on in the UK by Christmas legally, then I'll definitely fucking watch that week after Christmas.
It wouldn't shock me though if we don't get it till next year over here.
Yeah, and again, I've waited long enough. I'll wait longer. I mean, look, my wallpaper has been Wonder Woman 1984 wallpaper since January on my phone. My home screen and everything has been Wonder Woman 1984 stuff on my phone. I've been pretty pumped to see this. I can wait longer. I just hope the internet realizes that the whole world ain't getting it at the same time and
I mean, they won't.
Fills it, you know. So I'm going to have to avoid social media for several months. But this could be going along the lines of the Mulan formula, where Disney Plus put Mulan out at a premium price, which if you're in a household with 4 people, like 2 parents, 2 kids, it was a great price in terms of how much it would have cost to go to the cinema. Great price. If you're in a household of 2 people just curious to watch it, it sucked as a price. It was horrible. But Mulan, within a month, was out on Blu-ray and DVD. So if this turns out to be a similar situation where in January Wonder Woman comes out on Blu-ray, sure, I'll do it.
Do you think
it was screening night at my house? I'll put it on. I'll turn off everything else in the house and watch Wonder Woman 84 and absorb it.
Do you think it was...
I'll grab the tissues. For crying.
Do you think it was on Blu-ray and DVD so quickly because the Disney Plus premium pricing wasn't as successful as they hoped?
Well, they took a huge loss on Mulan. But I think the way they looked at it was, it's better than making no money and putting it out in screens during the peak time in America for the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it, putting it on home video. And also, I mean, it was the second Disney, as they call it so annoyingly on the Disney Plus service, reimagining.
Reimagining, okay.
It was the second Disney reimagining to go straight to Disney Plus, because, of course, one of the day one incentives was Lady and the Tramp.
Yep.
Which I've not heard anyone talk about, which is not necessarily testament to a lack of quality, more so that no one was getting Disney Plus to watch the reimagining of Lady and the Tramp.
I couldn't tell you a damn thing about it.
Yeah. Have you noticed the ones with, bar Lion King, apparently, but the ones with animal protagonists seem to be the ones people haven't been as fussed about. Like, Dumbo didn't do big numbers.
I think it goes back to the thing of, if you've got animal protagonists, why bother doing a live-action remake?
Fan casting. That's the appeal, I think, for a lot of people. We live in the Tumblr generation, for better or worse. There are folks who went to see Beauty and the Beast because they were just like, oh, yeah, him as him, that'd be great. Her as her, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, I'd buy that. And they just go and watch it. And, you know, hey, we've said this before many times on the show, if you enjoy a thing that we don't like, or general consensus is bad, you know, sort of negative sway on it, power to you. We wish we enjoyed it too.
Yeah, too right.
But the Disney remakes, bar The Jungle Book, and I guess Cinderella, are a load of shit. And soulless, and don't put any new spin on the films apart from, here's us explaining away a thing. Now there's no plot hole. It's like, right, is that why this was made? To explain away plot holes?
No.
I don't understand.
That's not why it was made. It was made because they thought they could get a second bite of the apple
like
on the same IP.
Like the villains from the Tom and Jerry movie. They've got to have money. The Tom and Jerry movie, not to be confused with the upcoming Tom and Jerry the movie. Which released a trailer this week to middling fanfare. I'll say this. Have you seen this or any clips or images from it?
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Okay, so a Tom and Jerry movie's coming out at some point in 2021. It is done. It is wrapped. It was mostly shot early this year. Its post-production is the thing that's kept it, like, taking so long.
Wait, is this live action?
This is a live-action film, but Tom and Jerry are animated.
Sideways.
Tom and Jerry are animated in CGI, but lit, shot, and directed like their 2D counterparts. So they look gorgeous. They look absolutely beautiful, because they've gone the Roger Rabbit route of, no, they're cartoon characters. Let's portray them as cartoon characters.
Okay.
They look stunning. It's going to be dog shit, though, because it's every single plot. Well, 90% of the movies produced in the 2000s and 2010s based on old children's properties that kids are vaguely aware of, but their parents definitely know about, all seem to centre around the cartoons in question coming to or being raised in, quote, our world, unquote. Either through dimensional shenanigans or they're like one of a kind of the animal that they are or whatever. And in this case, it's just, they are just a cat and a mouse. But they look different to everyone else for reasons. The plot is, Jerry leaves the house, they sort of made up or something, and he buggers off to the big city.
Oh, wow, so it really is the plot of every 2000s.
He sets up in a big, expensive hotel in New York and starts causing havoc because Jerry's never been a hellraiser. He just does his own thing and wants to be left alone. Like, he's cheeky, but he's never been like a pest. He's, you know, the plot has never been of Tom and Jerry, Jerry's a monster, so Tom has to kill Jerry. It's been, Tom's a cat, Jerry's a mouse, the mouse is going to get chased by the cat. That's the plot.
That's a movie that I'd watch.
Occasionally you have the lady in the house who's like, oh, I'm scared of the mouse, Thomas, and then Thomas chases the mouse, and we all sit there feeling really uncomfortable because of the stereotyping. But, like, she's not in this. It's, you know, sure, fine, but the best Tom and Jerry stuff's the later stuff where the art style gets weird and it's just obscure and bizarre levels of slapstick. And this film looks like it's got the slapstick in spades or in irons. At one point in the trailer, Tom gets bludgeoned around the face with an iron. So there's a lot of, hardcore them doing their thing in it, which is like, great. Sure. But Jerry moves to the big city. Hotel's gonna go to shit. Manager, who is Michael Pena, is getting really annoyed. So new, supervisor or whatever who wants the better job, Chloe Grace Moretz, is like, right, we need to get rid of a mouse. We get rid of a mouse with a cat. And she hires a cat, and it's Tom. And that's the film. It's Chloe Moretz and Tom trying to kill Jerry.
When you say she hires a cat, does she hire it from an agency like a car, or does she hire him as an independent contractor?
Oh, she just goes to the Catskills and asks for someone really over the top. That was a really obscure performance joke, and I hope people enjoy it.
I hate you. So I'd watch a live-action Tom and Jerry adaptation where Jerry was a monster and Tom had to hunt him down and put him down once and for all.
Some kind of really weird, What was the Brightburn? Some Brightburn take on Tom and Jerry. Where it's the concept you all know, but we're taking it in a really violent, scary direction.
Yeah.
It's oh god. I mean, they've made a wise decision. The last time there was a Tom and Jerry movie, it was an animated film in the early 90s, and everyone hates it because they talk. And they shouldn't talk. Tom and Jerry shouldn't talk. They are silent protagonists. They are Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. They work better that way. So in this one, they ain't talking. Smart decision. But
until the very end, where Tom says, "Tom, smash!"
No, there's a Batman joke in the trailer.
Oh, sure. Of course
there's a bit where he uses a glider, and the gliding suit he's wearing is not unlike Robert Pattinson's Batman costume.
Wow.
So,
all right.
Up to the minute pop culture references. I mean, that actually is quite an up to the minute. It's going to be the first appearance of a Robert Pattinson Batman joke before Robert Pattinson's Batman actually appears on a big screen.
It's not so much recursive humour as predictive humour.
Yeah. We all know the best Batman joke in a film that has fuck all to do with Batman is Gremlins 2 anyway. I mean, come on, it's so perfect and stupid. Bat Gremlin smashes through the wall, everyone looks around, and the bat symbol's the shape in the wall. Makes no sense, doesn't need to be there, gets a laugh every time.
So the entirety of Gremlins 2?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be there, but it gets a laugh every time. Best movie ever made. Anyway, I'm wearing a Gremlins 2 t-shirt right now. I can't not defend it in every possible way. It even has Gremlins 2 logo on it, not Gremlins. Gremlins
It doesn't need defending, it speaks for itself.
Thank you. What it says is, start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. Oh, I love that film so freaking much. Anyway, Tom and Jerry joining the legions of all modern adaptations of cartoons that suck all the life and charm out the original cartoon by just setting them in the big city, like the Smurfs, Smurfs 2, Alvin and the Chipmunks. What's that other one that came out a few years back where it was another property and they just basically stuck them in the real world. Oh, that'll come to me.
Did they do that with Top Cat?
Yes. Well, no, Top Cat was animated, but it was animated in this really weird, cell shaded, semi 3D looking thing, and it just didn't translate. And it came out and it left. It was out and it was gone. And it was like, oh, was that it? Was that it? Was that it? If anyone's going to adapt any of these things again, do what the Banana Splits movie did, and be like, look, we want to do Five Nights at Freddy's because we have a treatment for a Five Nights at Freddy's movie that's been thrown out, but we've written it and we think it'd work, and that film's going to take forever. Warner Brothers, do you have any old kids stuff under your legal jurisdiction that we could just use for your straight-to-DVD line? We own Hanna-Barbera, so we've got the Banana Splits. Right, we're doing that. So they made Five Nights at Freddy's, but the Banana Splits.
I really do want to see that, actually.
My friend Phil says it's really, really good, but my friend Phil has terrible taste in movies. And though I respect him a lot, when he keeps trying to convince me to watch the movie Poultrygeist, which is not a movie about possession or ghosts, it's a movie about zombie chickens, I do have to doubt whether or not I should stay in touch with him at all. He insists it's worth it because it's also a musical, but I have my doubts. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Tom and Jerry coming to cinemas in 2021.
No. There's a movie called Poultrygeist about zombie chickens, which is also a musical.
Well, yeah, obviously. Come on. Were you not all up in that? Were you not all up in them guts?
I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Hey, when there's nothing else coming out, watch Poultry.
Yes. After, of course, I've watched The Mandalorian.
Yes! Vague spoilers incoming, ladies and gentlemen. This was fun.
It continues to be great.
Fun. Yeah, it was the first episode that... Okay, so, basic plot. Mandalorian returns to Bumblefuck, New Jersey, whatever the planet's called
Navarro.
again. That's the one. And he gets there and... sorry, I need to take another sip of my brainy juice. 1 second.
Ah, your brain juice. Is that what you call it now?
Yes, it make my brain do good.
Fresh brains.
Brain holes. And what you got to do is got to get under the brain and just milk its little pink grey teats. And don't filter it. Just take it right in. So... I've got to edit graphics after this. So, yeah, he goes back to Navarro and to get the Razor Crest repaired.
Mm-hmm.
And there he meets Grief and Cara Dune, who are like, hey, it's been a bit. Things are all right here, relatively peaceful. We've got street markets. That's how you know things are going well, because there's banners and chain links.
Turned the bar into a school.
Yeah, the very well reconstructed bar, it turns out. And the criminal that we were introduced to at the start of the show, the very start, who was frozen in carbonite at the beginning, is there working on Grief's behalf, like to work off his debt on the books, because he was good at that before, so we're going to use him as a secretarial assistant now. And Grief is like, hey, yeah, so let's put the child in the school for a day, and he can eat some blue macaroons, because what we need from you is a favour. And Mando's like, you're only saying you need a favour because that's the plot of the show. I show up somewhere, I want a thing, they give it to me in exchange for a favour. And Grief goes, don't think about it too much. It's 8 episodes a year. Stop like ruining it for everyone. There is an Imperial lab tucked away on Navarro that was thought abandoned, but enough evidence has arrived to show that there might be some troopers out and about. So the plan is to just get there, find whoever's in there, and kill them. When they get there, though, they find that there's a lot more going on. Namely, and I can't fucking believe I'm saying this, plot elements designed to apologise for the rise of Skywalker's lack of explanation.
Possibly,
but come on. Like,
yeah. I mean,
come on.
Yeah.
So we finally learned through recordings at this base, which turns out to be a laboratory, that the child is needed because of its M count, aka it's midichlorians. They know it's strong in the Force. They need samples of its blood to try out on clone bodies. Everything they've tried it on so far has died. They're running out of the sample they took from the start of Series 1.
Mm-hmm.
They need the child. So not only is Mando like, yeah, I need to keep the child safe, it's now, oh, I need to keep them safe because we're being pursued. It's not just that we could be found, it's that the Empire are actively looking for us now. And I've just brought him back here. We need to blow this place sky high and get off world immediately. It's pretty heavily implied through the weird cloney things and the fact they're trying to create a force-wielding clone that this is either the beginnings of Snoke, the now, as we know, puppeteered avatar that the Emperor uses to lead the First Order, or this is the beginnings of the Emperor's new body based on the expanded media from after the Rise of Skywalker, explaining that that the Emperor we saw in Rise of Skywalker was not the original body that fell down the lift shaft and whatnot. It's a clone body that he was transferred into, which doesn't explain why they gave him fucked up fingers, which are clearly meant to make you think of him shooting lightning out of his hands as he plummets to his death. Why would the clone have injuries at its finger? I don't know. It's fucking stupid. So that was the one thing to really... Well, that was one of two things that were a challenge to me this week. Because this was the first time we've watched an episode of Mando since... Art from Artist discussion coming up, folks. Brace yourselves. Learning that Gina Carano's a bit of a nasty twat.
Yeah.
We've touched on this a little in previous podcasts, but we've never dived in. Gina Carano, over the last few months, has revealed that she is quite happy to mock trans individuals and their pronouns in a way where she says, I'm only taking the mickey out of the people who take this too seriously. Don't worry about it. I love all people. I love everybody, whatever lifestyle you choose to lead, etc., etc. And it's like, Gina, if you have a problem with allies and trans individuals being incredibly on it and nervous and reactive, then what you should be doing is just not talking. If there are people who are attacking you, don't interact with them. Just don't interact with them. If it's people who are genuinely being on top of you for no reason, don't interact with them. To acknowledge it this way is to suggest that you are happy to take the piss out of people, regardless of whether they are an annoying arsehole coming after you or just someone trying to calmly explain, hey, Gina, this is a little hurtful and here's why. Or this is quite hurtful and here's why. Especially reflecting really badly on her when you compare it to the likes of Pedro Pascal, John Boyega, other stars from this franchise and its modern iteration, Mark Hamill, who have very openly been allies to marginalized groups and people in the LGBTQ plus community, etc., etc. So there's that. Add to that the fact that she is like a late 30s, early 40s right-leaning mom who shares memes on her Facebook page, but she does it on her Twitter account, that are all clearly like, pro-life and the election was rigged and all these things, and you're like, Gina, come on, you play a hero in a TV show where people look up to you like fucking crazy. Like, come on. Now, there'll be some people listening now saying, what, she's not allowed to have political beliefs? Being trans is not a political stance. It's being a human fucking being. Like, it's not an opinion, for Christ's sake. So let's stop there. Yes, unfortunately, LGBTQ issues have become politicized. Doesn't mean that the individuals are a political issue. They're a person. Treat them with respect, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And that extends back toward Gina. The difference here is it's the hypocrisy of it all. It's the Chris Pratt thing all over again. It's like, you can't say you believe in all these things, that you're a good person, you let the Lord lead you and all this, that, and the other, and then treat a type of person like shit because you don't understand them. It's so weird. And for it to play a hero who's about liberating the oppressed and then to be oppressive on a social media. It's
not a good look. It's not a good look.
It's not a good look. Now, I can, for the most part, depending on the individual, I can, for the most part, separate art from artist enough to still absorb a media. If I can't do it enough, I'm happy to just not absorb that media anymore. I'm like, that's like, I'll be honest, I don't think I have yet returned to a movie that Kevin Spacey's been in since finding out the extent of the things he did. And even more so after his weird, creepy Frank Underwood YouTube video rebuttals. Made it weirder to me.
I watched Seven recently.
Yeah,
and it was weird.
That's one I want to go back to because I loved it. I loved Baby Driver. I still want to go back to these movies because I think enough time will pass that I can watch it. I think that initial watch will be weird. We are not comparing Gina Carano to Kevin Spacey. but we're talking about the idea of knowing that an artist is something and they are playing the polar opposite of it on screen.
Yeah.
Is tough. Or is it great acting? Ha ha ha. No, but it's just like, oh, that's upsetting. It's... Yeah, this was interesting to me. I think I had to... For the first time ever, I think I had to just see her as Cara Dune, not as Gina Carano playing Cara Dune. I had to just go, remember how this character made you feel in Series 1 and focus on that. Like, that's who you're watching now. You're not watching Gina Carano. And I think in light of the things we've learned about Rosario Dawson and her family in the pending court things, several of which have been dropped now apparently, but some stuff still hasn't, with regards to, I think it was a housekeeper who was trans individual and they bullied and derided this person a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of the charges from that individual have been dropped, but some remain. So that means there's some stuff that they're still fighting for or believe that they can actually win and fight for. But that's going to be a bit difficult when we get to Ahsoka Tano, presumably next week, since next week's directed by Dave Filoni, co-creator of the character.
Yeah.
That's going to be weird. That's going to be weird. And it sucks that we even have to talk about any of this shit, really. I mean, first off, it sucks that they've been involved in these things, but like, it sucks we even have to talk about this shit because Mando has been such a great escape this last month. It's been such a wonderful weekly appointment of, yeah, fuck what's going on in the world. Let's watch the funny storybook kids show where the Westerner, with a Western cowboy dude in the silver armor and the little green baby shoot bad guys and have adventures.
It's become the highlight of my weekend. It's been my Saturday morning Mando.
Yeah. Oh, you get it in the ultimate kids show way then. You wake up on Saturday morning and watch it. Bowl cereal?
No. Usually late morning, early afternoon.
Ah.
Well, I'll probably have a late breakfast and watch some Mando.
Mando for brunch.
Yeah, Mando brunch.
Mando brunch.
Mando brunch.
Have a tiny little cocktail while you're watching it. Have a little liquid lunch.
No, I'm not that lush.
But you do that thing where you put your pinky up, no matter what drink you're drinking.
Oh yeah.
So you may as well dive into the whole I'm a brunch person. I brunch now.
I'm a brunch. I'm always a brunch person and a second breakfast person and an 11s person and
I was waiting for the 11s to come out.
Dinner, supper, afternoon tea.
I want to watch the trilogy again now. Sorry, no, I need to. It's not the trilogy. Do you want to set Randall Graves off?
I mean, we did finish revisiting the prequel trilogy recently.
Did you? How was that? Because I stand by my belief that they are bad movies, but I have mellowed on aspects of them way more over the last 10 years.
Episode 1 is fine if a little dull in places and plotting.
It's my heresy. It's my favourite of the three.
No, I can see that.
It's dumb and silly and has some interesting visuals. It's shit, but it's like nicely packaged shit. Well, and there's some great choreography in it. It
benefits over the next two in that a lot of it is still physical sets and models.
Yeah,
in a way that it isn't in the next two. Attack of the Clones is a mess to the point where we didn't even finish it.
Oh, that speaks to me. I tried watching them chronologically for the first time ever about 7 years ago, and I was yelling at the TV during Clones. It was annoying me so much. I didn't return to my marathon for 6 months.
We didn't even make it to the arena in Geonosis.
But that's where they've got a bad feeling about this.
And we just didn't make it. In fact, we were just like, let's go to bed.
You at least learned what sand is, right?
It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Yeah, yay.
Honestly, episode 2 is barely watchable. Like, it's like pulling fucking teeth.
The one cool thing about it, we don't even need anymore. Oh, we never really had Boba Fett do much, so we're going to kind of give you that. With Jango Fett. Okay, cool, but this movie's not very good. Oh, The Mandalorian exists now. All right, well, fuck Attack of the Clones. Put it away now. Don't need it. Don't need it at all. Goodbye. Good day.
And everything's CGI, but the tech's not there yet.
Whole scenes where poor Christopher Lee He's talking to a room of not put in the scene yet. Things going.
Yeah.
Just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And also, are these guys also hideous racist allegories tucked away inside George's bizarre translation of what other races should look like in Star Wars that aren't humanoid, and how they all seem to have coding that suggests that maybe George should have had help creating these things?
Yes,
that's
they are.
That's kind of gross.
That's all true. Yeah.
The Geonosians, I didn't really realize it the first time I saw the film or in the subsequent viewings. I've recently been watching Clone Wars. I'm in series 2, and there's a whole plot on Geonosia, and it's like Geonosis, and it's like, oh, I've just realized what like the headdresses are and the.
Yeah.
Oh, George, no, George, no.
Although one could argue that
there's
that's
even voodoo.
more on...
There's even voodoo. They have brain worms that possess people in the show. There's voodoo.
One could argue that the show's interpretation of it is more on Dave Filoni, so...
True, but Dave Filoni, I guess, is sticking to the script very heavily. He's about being faithful and expanding on George's thing. It's like... he's got a great defense of the prequels. There's that The Gallery episode on Disney Plus where he like explains the arc of Anakin and everything and what it really means in the prequels, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the movies are bad.
Yeah.
The ideas might be good, but the movies are
much. Bad. Yeah. How did you find Sith on Revisit?
I think, for my money, it's the best of the three. It is very silly in places, but I think it's mostly pretty fun, and I think it's got the best action of the three. Like the opening space battle and like ship escape is really good.
Chancellor, please. Sith Lords are our speciality.
It's almost knowing, I think. I feel like Revenge of the Sith is a film that was made with George Lucas looking back at Attack of the Clones and going, oh, well, that didn't work.
It's also the only kids movie I can think of that opens with a beheading.
Well, quite. And also, despite the weird CGI face move moment, I really, really like the scene with Palpatine and Anakin at the opera.
Yeah.
I think it's really, like, the mood of it is really cool.
And do you see what I was saying a few weeks back about, like, he is just flat out implying that he created Anakin? Like,
yeah.
Like, he did it. Like, that's how Anakin is his kid, but he's not like, I need a son. He's like, no, I just wanted to create a plaything that could be my bodyguard, and it's you. So, do your thing! It's the way McDermott delivers it. It's just genius. Like, Hayden Christensen is not even looking at him. And he's just kind of looking at him in this way that's it's weirdly paternal. And you can tell that he's on the cusp of being like, my son, or something like that.
Him and Ewan McGregor. Ian McDiarmid and Ewan McGregor are the MVPs of the prequel trilogy.
You're saying the Scots are the only good ones?
Well, unlike some of the rest of the cast, they know what movies they're in.
Very true.
To the
You're
point
the
where
chosen one!
I do absolutely love the moment where Ewan McGregor has to cover his mouth telling Padme about Anakin killing younglings because he's cracking up. He's cracking up! I love it!
Killing younglings, hell, Padme. Oh, I'm so sorry, Padme. I was killing fucking you what?
He's like in this. He's like, I'm in this Star Wars movie delivering this awful dialogue. This is brilliant.
It's just, oh my god, he's an absolute treasure in those films. He really is. Well, in 2 and 3, like the first one, he's fine. He doesn't get much to do. Oh, it's young Obi-Wan, and he's kind of sexy. All right, cool. Okay, that's nice. And then in 2 and 3, it's just, I've decided I'm going to do an impression for the whole 2 films. They're going to make me look more and more like Alec Guinness. I love how his exile makes fuck all sense in the context of Sith.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm going to go into exile and hiding. Like Master Yoda and I were going to hiding. Where are you going to hide? about 20 minutes walk away from the boy I meant to be avoiding and leaving in complete anonymity. Do you not think you being near him would probably alert anyone who came looking for him, if they ever found out he existed, that maybe that was indeed the person they were looking for? This is not the boy I'm looking for. Oh, I'll use that again later.
Well, no, because I think the idea was always for them to train Luke and then use him against the Emperor. Like that was the game they're playing.
Yeah, okay. I see. Well, I don't know, because he seems so detached in context then when you visit Star Wars. It's sort of like, oh, here's me. And it's like they've clearly spoken before, but they've not really hung out at all.
Yeah, again, this is something that has been sort of fixed by a lot of the new expanded universe stuff.
Yeah.
Particularly the Marvel comics.
That issue's amazing. Like, really
They've done
early
a couple
in the run,
of those.
isn't it?
They've done a couple of from the Journals of Ben Kenobi issues. Because the belief is that is going to be the basis for whatever the Obi-Wan series ends up being, yeah.
I think it's going to be an off-world mission. I think he has to leave Tatooine briefly, and there's going to be an element of peril on Tatooine, so there's kind of like a ticking clock element where he's got to get back and be like there as a watchful eye over Luke whilst being stuck dealing with this other thing off-world. Mostly just so they can go Godfather 3 with it at one point. So I'd be like, every time I think that I'm out, they pull me back in.
But who's they, Obi? Who's they?
Garble Schneebelwitz and his old pal Dexter Jetster.
I understand you're in hiding, but somebody's gotta help me clean the burger grill.
Here's a moment. Here's a thing in that.
There's
right?
big old fishy jowls just flobbing around.
So Dexter Jetster,
Yeah.
him and Obi-Wan have that moment where they're like, oh, the droids, the archive droids didn't miss this thing on the dart, so I couldn't identify it. And then I think it's Obi-Wan's like, well, if droids could think, then where would we be? And they're like, oh, yeah. Dexter's married to a droid.
Sorry, I think what you mean is Dexter's married to a sex toy. Based
We
on that
also know
conversation
that
they've just
droids
had.
can think and that they are sentient.
The notion of droids in Star Wars is real fucked up and murky. And
It's
it all
very
depends on
complicated.
who's writing it. Yeah.
It's very complicated.
That's one thing I hate about the prequels. The Anakin built 3PO. I hate that. That was the first time they ever did something in the franchise which made me feel like the universe of it was so small. It was so tiny. Oh, so C-3PO was built by Darth Vader. Why? What does that add to anything? Well, it shows he's good with machines. What does that add to anything? He doesn't need to be good with machines. He's a good pilot. We know that. That's been established before we ever met him.
Yeah, because he
We know
tries
he's a good
spinning.
pilot.
That's a good trick.
It is a good trick, I'll tell you that for now, young sir. Do you remember when we go back to... You must have got this. Did you get as far as Anakin butchering the Tusken Raiders?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, which now after Mandalorian Series 2 is like, yeah, did they do things to his mother? Or has he been led to believe that and he's just been a racist and killed
I think there was one... I think there was a deleted scene in Revenge of the Sith where it is revealed that Palpatine orchestrated the kidnap of his mother.
What's her name again?
Shmi.
Shmi.
And
Shmi!
to basically to
Don't try to stop me, Shmi. Don't try to stop me, Shmi. Don't try to stop me, Shmi. Stop me, Shmi.
Revenge of the Hook.
Now that I'd watch. But yeah.
Does it still have George Lucas and Carrie Fisher kissing on a bridge?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, weird that. Fucking weird that. I can't watch Hook without
So
going,
odd.
why? Why is that them? Why? Like, now that I've learnt that, I can't not unlearn it. Again, not think about it. Dreams. It's fucking weird. I don't know. Does any character stand out now? As a gentleman who's been on this earth over 3 decades, does any character stand out in the prequels as, oh no, their performance and purpose and writing, they're legitimately solid, they just deserve to be in a better thing? Or does everyone come away with at least 1 point doxed? Because, like,
I don't think
when
anyone
I was
comes away
younger, I thought...
untarnished.
Who, sorry?
I don't think anyone comes away untarnished.
Because when I was younger, I thought Qui-Gon was cooler than he is, but let's face it, he's pretty wet sauce. He's just a damp squib.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much to him at all. Yet he is our main character, unquote, in Phantom Menace. A film that doesn't have a main character, or arguably any characters interesting enough to be defined as an ensemble cast. Like we think Padme maybe, but no, because half the film, we're not spending it with Padme. We're spending it with someone else.
Pretending to be her.
They're
spending it with overdubbed Keira Knightley.
Yeah, who we don't see again, but the second film opens with another Padme double being killed, implying that they've known each other a long time.
And also another
is that meant to be
handmaiden
Keira
played by
Knightley's
Rose
character?
Byrne.
Yeah? Shit, yeah. Oh, God. Bloody hell. I don't know. Does Maul still stand up as an interesting antagonist? Because he's ultimately a lapdog. Like, Maul is...
He's not an interesting antagonist, but he's a cool antagonist.
Yeah, he is to Phantom Menace what Vader kind of is to Star Wars, the original. Like, looks cool, does their thing. Vader gets a bit more to do because apparently he killed Luke's dad, and him and Obi-Wan clearly have a history. But then after that, he is just the muscle that is fighting on behalf of the bad guys. So they're kind of the same, really, I guess. But then, of course, Vader gets shitloads more to do later, so it sort of feeds back into him. Is Dooku to me always never struck me as that interesting either.
No, he isn't particularly.
It's just it's Christopher Lee and you're wasting Christopher Lee.
I think that's this character was definitely got fleshed out by the Clone Wars. Which I've started watching now. I'm a good most of the way through the first season. So
I was gonna say if it feels like it's dragging at all to you, skip to mid-season 2. It's an Office USA situation. It's like it's fine, but it actually starts to get sort of meaty and interesting and arc heavy mid-series 2.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But it's just
Geonosis stuff, and then the Mandalore stuff is where it's like,
yeah,
interconnected threads now. Okay, this is interesting.
That's the stuff I'm interested in, but for the first season is just fine for some like flashy background noise to have on while I'm painting or whatever.
Yeah, it's perfect one and done Saturday morning fodder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just don't take a shot every time you hear what's it? All out war. The separatists have clung to the... He's like, oh jeez.
I do love the newsreeler style intro.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty neat. But yeah, when you're marathoning it, it gets a bit...
Theme tune slaps, though. Yeah,
well, Star Wars music. Star Wars music always slaps.
Star Wars music with some heavy-ass drums.
That Clone Wars movie, though. Woof.
Have you watched that?
Yeah.
Have you done it to yourself? I couldn't bear. I couldn't do it.
Fucking garbage.
It is. And isn't it weird because
garbage.
It was essentially conceived to advertise, like to be a big event to advertise the fact there was going to be a show.
Yeah.
And yet it doesn't reflect the show at all, from what I know about it. It's a comedy caper where they've got to deliver a baby Hutt from one planet to another. Yeah, it's
way more light-hearted and just not as interesting as anything the show does.
It's also just very small, because it's like, why do we keep interacting with Jabba the Hutt? Why do we keep interacting with aliens we've seen before when the universe is meant to be fucking massive?
Yeah.
Like, Mandalorian waits till mid-series 2 to, like, go, here's a major character that people aware of the TV shows will know. Like, you get a bit of it with Bo-Katan, but it's like, they wait to shovel stuff down your throat of, hey, here's a reward. Thanks for sticking around. We spend an entire, 14 episodes going to different places before then. and learning about the universe and seeing different species and people doing their own thing in different sectors and the Outer Rim and all this. And I don't know. Star Wars' biggest flaw to me is how small it feels.
Yeah.
We learn about this cluster and this solar system and this galaxy and the Outer Rim and all this stuff. Why do we keep meeting the same 10 fucking characters? Why do all the bad guys dress the same? Why?
Which I know we're coming back to this because we always do, but I think that was the biggest problem I had with the retconning of Last Jedi. Last Jedi's reveal that Rey was no one. Because it just, again, it makes everything feel smaller.
Yeah. And also completely shits on the end note of Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be intrigued as to someone who's not seen the sequel trilogy, if they binge them now, how jarring would that feel to, like, watch Last Jedi one night and watch Rise of Skywalker the next night?
Well, I've not
for one film to end
Rise
on.
of Skywalker
It can be anyone. Oh my god, the last shot is a kid, like, summoning a broom into his hand.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my... And then in the next one it'd be like, JK, your grandparents gotta be a Palpatine that fucks. It's like, what? What? I just...
Yeah.
Eh.
Before we go...
Must we go? On this Fairmont?
Can you fill me in on something that's also been disappointing?
Sure.
So apparently, Captain Jack's back for Doctor Who.
Yeah. Right, that was it, folks. So
fill me in, because I'm seeing disappointment from people, but I'm honestly finding it difficult to get hype about anything Doctor Who related because it's just so... Like, it almost feels like the production team doesn't really want to talk about it. The BBC doesn't really want to talk about it. Like, no one seems to really want to talk about this thing that they're working on that theoretically they should be excited about and proud of. It just... Why is nobody talking about... And with the recent anniversary, again, it's just been thrown into stark relief that there's sort of not... No one seems to be really fussed, and I don't know why. So can you shed some light on that for me, Chris?
From 2005 to 2010, Russell T Davies, Julie Gardner, Phil Collinson, and their peers, who also had exec producer positions around the show, and the show's stars, mostly David Tennant, were very open. They were on chat shows. There was always Doctor Who stuff happening. There was a behind-the-scenes show that was on repeat on BBC Three forever, The Wonderful Confidential. Meaning that if you were watching Doctor Who that Saturday night, it was an event. You watched Doctor Who, and then if you wanted a bit more, you had 5 minutes, you and your family get a cup of tea, chat about what you just watched, flip over to BBC Three and watch the on-transmission 45-minute episodes of Confidential and really dive into it. Let it absorb, your evening. Your evening belongs to at least an hour and a half of content that is Doctor Who.
Yeah, there was a good 5 years that were just... Saturday night is Doctor Who night for me.
Yeah. Not only that, Children Need, a brand new special. Like, pretty much every Children Need in some capacity, either a sneak preview or in a couple of cases, a full, 5 to 10 minute extra piece that was not essential, but just real fun and fit in with the show. If you did want to watch it all back to back, you can watch... Parting of the Ways, and then watch Doctor Who Children in Need, the 2005 special, and then watch Christmas Invasion, and it all slots together. This is kind of fun. The toys were in boom at that point. That's a whole other discussion as to why that dried up. See Grandma Connolly and Destroyed Cassandra for more notes. But you'd walk into a supermarket and there'd be Doctor Who merch. You'd walk into Toys R Us and it was a big bloody explosive wall of the stuff the moment you turned in and went right. Mm-hmm. Like it was an ever present thing. It didn't run out of steam because it was going full steam ahead. The Moffat era begins, and suddenly that machine looks different, but it's always about. It cracks America. It's got these brilliant series launch trailers that showed in cinemas, like Amy and the Doctor tumbling through that vortex, the first look we got of the brand new era. And it's memorable as hell, like that trailer, them flying through the thing. We all remember it. It's beautiful. Those stars present on all sorts of stuff. They're rocking up on the one show, faffing about one week. Some of them are on Graham Norton the next week. The toys are still here. Video games start to permeate the world. And all the while we're being fed these little tidbits. Doctor Who magazine, nearly every cover each year was a cover to do with something current, either a bit of breaking news or the series as it was going out. It was present. It was always around. The 50th anniversary year. Good God, you couldn't move for Doctor Who in that last couple of months. It was glorious. If you're a fan of the show, it was probably one of the most happiest times you've ever had around the show itself. It was great. And then the Capaldi era is where things start to get quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly the star of the show, and this is no diss to Mr. Capaldi, like the star of the show is a stern-looking older man. That's the star of the show. So, up the monsters, up the excitement, do the thing. Like, that's going to put some kids off who maybe haven't seen it before. Kids who are already there for the ride are buying it because they're like, new Doctor, this is exciting. But like, you kind of need to be a bit more warm and open. So more monsters, more stuff, more tie-ins. But instead, they focus on pulling in an adult audience more often than the kids. Capaldi himself, amazing with kids. You see him in interviews, you see him appearing as the Doctor at the Doctor Who Experience, just to like surprise some school groups. Like, he's wonderful with the target audience of the show. Absolutely wonderful. But the show itself is going, hey, you like Game of Thrones, right? Here's some Game of Thrones actors. Oh yeah, no, you guys loved freaking like Poldark. Here's Poldark people. You like League of Gentlemen? Oh, Reece Smith in this one. Like, come on, it's not going toward the kids.
No.
The Capaldi era rounds out, and we suddenly have a chance to bring in a whole new audience. The first ever female Doctor, another rebrand, the first real big rebrand in terms of the visual marketing and representation of the show since 2010. And Chris Chibnall uses the Broadchurch method of publicity, which is completely close to the chest. We reveal nothing. We get the sense, and this is just speculation, but we get the sense that nothing was being handed out to the magazine, even, or the web team. Doctor Who the Fan Show was doing stuff with Capaldi's lot all the time, and then suddenly, there's nothing like that during the production of this one. Kind of get it for the first series. They maybe want to keep it under wraps, surprise everybody, but that's continued. 2 series of the current era, of the current Doctor, current lead cast, current showrunner and design and look, and we've barely been given anything. It's almost made the show feel like it's, I don't know, reluctant to come out.
Yeah.
And I don't think
that's the sense that I'm getting.
And I don't think it's from a place of like, oh, we don't want backlash. I think it's just from a, no, we'll show it you when we've finished. Which is fine, but in the meanwhile, with a delay between Series 11 and 12, and then this year, obviously, like, confusing things further, we now know that Series 21, we're talking about, Series 13 is not only being shot right now, as of last week, it started on-set production, to go along with coronavirus rules and regulations and safety. It's going to be a shorter series of 8 episodes. Hopefully they'll take advantage of that and make them all hour-length stories. It will be out in third quarter 2021 is the current projected date, so autumn 2021.
Yeah.
So it's not too long of a wait between series, really. We had spring this year, autumn next year. Sure, that's happened before.
Yeah.
You know, but in the in-between, we've been pummeled with Time Lord Victorious, Big Finish announcements, VR projects, VR games, an upcoming trading card computer game, a merch boom for the action figure collector's market, yet not current show centered and exclusive to one chain of stores that have its own kind of weird thing of, oh yay, more toys, but also, oh no, people buy them in bulk on day one and scalp them, which just leaves a sour taste in the mouth. Time Lord Victorious is a clusterfuck. Like, how do you follow it? The person who's outside of the world of following the show intently is like, what is that? Is Tennant coming back?
Yeah.
No. Oh, is it a comic or something? I don't know. More box set announcements. This year, Doctor Who has had announcement after announcement after announcement. Very few releases, but a lot of announcements. All of them have been about things not to do with the current show. They've all been past legacy event stuff that isn't anything to do with the current TV series. I mean, even Edge of Reality, the non-VR extended version of the VR game Edge of Time from early this year, won't be coming out till spring 2021.
Yeah.
For, I cannot believe this, for, as far as the console generation is concerned, Xbox One and PS4 only. Are you fucking kidding me? No. What is wrong with you? Oh my god. Like, talk about missing an opportunity to get in on that next-gen action now that it's happening, and how in the new year more people will inevitably get hold of these consoles when more are available and people have money. Like, just... it's going to die. The game is going to die on console as a result. So that's annoying. But also the show's been super secretive again. Now, the Christmas special was filmed ages ago, which is why it's ready to be shown over the festive series. But here's why people are not excited in the immediate way. Aside, everything I've just discussed is all about why the palpable sense of excitement for this show has kind of disappeared, as far as I'm concerned, based on my observations of the franchise.
Yeah, it's just fizzled away for me.
Like, I don't think anyone is like, oh yeah, and Doctor Who's on. I think it's more like, oh, Doctor Who's on as well, which is weird because even as recently as 2018, it was like, oh yes, Doctor Who, bring it on. A few reasons for that. One, we don't have a release date. As of this recording on November the 25th, we don't know what the release date of the festive special is. Chances are it's a New Year's Eve or a New Year's Day kind of job, because that's what the last special was. It was a New Year's Day episode, resolution. But because it's been announced as part of BBC's Christmas lineup, and the fact that it's one of the very few completed and not in a 3 10-minute specials made over Zoom Vicar of Dibley kind of way, which, you know, hey, I'm grateful to see Geraldine again, but, you know, it's atypical that we've made a bunch of Zoom programs, which can be great, see staged on iPlayer, but, you know, just the novelty will wear off if every bastard's doing it.
And for some things, it's not going to make sense.
Yeah. Now, Doctor Who has a special, a feature-length special, ready to go. Seems like a no-brainer to just put it on Christmas Day. Or even just go, it's going to be on Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, we're going to put the Doctor Who special on. There you go. So before everyone goes to bed, watch a brand new Doctor Who adventure, and then Christmas the next day. Or, hey, it's going to be on Christmas Day in the evening, because it's one of the few complete things we have that was shot before pandemics. Great. Awesome. We still don't have a date. On the 23rd of November, it was Doctor Who's 57th anniversary. 57th? Yes, 57th anniversary. And we weren't given a date. We were told coming soon. We've been told coming soon since earlier this year, when we were told it would be coming out over the festive period at some point. They released a poster. The poster's quite a nice graphic. The special is Revolution of the Daleks, and we see the new Dalek design on there. Bit weird. It's what the Reconnaissance cobbled together one looks like, implying that either the cobbled together one wasn't a charming steampunk DIY version of a Dalek, it was a pretty damn accurate version of what a version of a Dalek apparently looks like, which kind of takes the charm away from it. But anyway, or they've gone, that was fun, just 3D print a boatload of those and paint them black and silver instead, and that's the new Dalek design. But whatever. Yay, Daleks. Cool. However, we've been worn down on the Daleks this year because every spin-off media has used them. They've been a big part of every event. They have an animated series on the YouTube channel right now. They are in Time Lord Victorious. They're in an upcoming 10th Doctor and Dalek event series from Big Finish.
Yep.
They're in the games. Like,
just Daleks. Daleks all day, Daleks all night.
Sick of them. Don't want to see them again. Tell them to piss off. I'm so bored of them. It's like the Joker. I'm bored of the Joker. I'm bored of him. Let him go away for a bit and then do something with him. I'm bored of him. Fucking hell. Love these characters. Love these designs. Love these villains and the world they're from. You can have too much of a good thing.
Yep.
Spare them out. I mean, for Christ's sake, this year the two biggest DC events have been, Joker Wars
And Three Jokers.
The Three Jokers. There's also been a sequel to White Knight, which is about the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And, Jared Leto's going to be in the Justice League reshoots. And it's just like, go away. Piss off. Like, go away, Joker. I'm so bored. Same with the Daleks. So that's another level of fatigue. The poster is a nice poster. And had they released the poster with a release date at the bottom of it, I think the response would have been, oh, shit, okay. And that would have been the response.
That would have made it a nicer poster.
Yeah. But it just says coming soon. They also revealed with an 11-second clip, only about 3 seconds in vision, the rest of it's dark with a sound effect, that Captain Jack Harkness is returning for the festive special. Which makes sense off the back of Series 12. He appeared mid-series, dropping a hint about something, and it felt like it needed a bookmark. A bookend. It felt like it needed and P.S., the finale to the year being the special ties in, and here it is. Sure. Great. Fine. This has been rumoured since Series 12 aired earlier this year.
Yeah.
Confirming this rumour does not a hype machine make. Yes, Captain Jack trended on Twitter for a few hours afterwards. Confusing a lot of people who never watched Doctor Who because there were just pictures of Captain Jack Sparrow all over Twitter. But, like, it's sure, great. There are people who love that character. I myself am very fond of that character. So I'm like, cool. And you confirmed a rumour that we all kind of took as happening. You showed us Daleks, which we all saw in leaked photos earlier this year.
Yeah.
That don't look that much different from the last Dalek we saw. And you still didn't tell us what time it's on, or what day it's on.
How about a trailer?
Anything else? We're a month out. We're a month away, presumably. We don't know the day. But, like, we're a month out. Just give us something. Even if it's a teaser, give us a 30-second teaser with some shots that confirm, like, a couple little moments. And then boom. You know?
Yeah.
Or a specially shot teaser, at least. Like, even if it's not something in the episode, just a specially shot teaser of the Doctor scrolling away with a tally on her wall in the cell. Do you know what I mean? Just, like, something to make us be like, oh, okay. She's been there a while.
Yeah.
All right. Just something. A TARDIS-ode. Do you remember the TARDIS-odes? Series 2 and 3 got TARDIS-odes.
Love a TARDIS-ode, mate.
On the BBC Doctor Who website, back in 2006-2007, there were these short episodes, like a minute, 2 minutes long, of something to do with that week's story. And they usually featured a character from that week's episode.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even a main one, just a character that at some point would pop up when you watched it and you go, oh, they were in the little episode on the website.
Yeah, a little prologue chapter.
Yeah, like the last day for the 50th anniversary. Like we meet the head of the command, and then he's in Day of the Doctor. You're like, oh shit, it was that guy from the thing. There's some great ones, like the if I remember correctly, the Tooth and Claw one is the monk that gets attacked and bitten by the werewolf and who's then in the cage. So you learn about that night, and
yeah,
they were great. Something like that, just a 2-minute like weird little sneak peek thing that isn't in the episode, but informs us of so that's where we're going with it. Okay,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just it's not like it can't be done. It's just I feel like the show's reluctance to give us anything is part of why the enthusiasm is dying.
Yeah.
It works for Broadchurch. We don't want to know the mystery. But for this,
it's a different kind of show.
Give us something.
Yeah.
Just something to look
anything.
forward to.
Anything to look for. God knows we need it.
Wonder Woman. We've had trailers. We had a bonus trailer. We've had release date updates.
Mm-hmm.
We now know when it's coming out and how it's coming out. Great. Cannot wait. Hyped as fuck. Black Widow. We don't know when it's coming out. We know it's next year sometime. We've got the date that they've penciled in. We've seen enough to be like, all right. Put it in the back of our minds. Nearer the time, they'll drop one more trailer to make us go, yeah, and then we'll go see it, and we'll be hyped up. You know? Like this, this is the first Christmas, for, numerous reasons, but like this is the first Christmas where I'm going to be home on Christmas Eve and not going anywhere on Boxing Day. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going back to an engagement, to a job. Like, I'm going to be home Christmas Eve, here Christmas Day, probably isolating based on the rules. It's still being figured out. But, so I won't see anyone till the new year at all. Apart from Lucy, who'll be like in a hazmat suit going, "Hello, darling, can I get you a cup of tea?" Yes. But, you know, like, this first Christmas I'll be home forever. This is the first time I'll be able to watch Doctor Who TX, if it is indeed Christmas Day, properly. Like, last few years, I've when it's been on Christmas Day, I've watched it, but usually after Lou's fallen asleep, knackered from the excitement of the day, and then I've just had it on in the background, or I've got back to my digs on Boxing Day in Lincoln the last few years, done the Boxing Day performances, and then in that evening gone back to my thingy, wrapped up warm, cracked open a beer, and have then watched Doctor Who on iPlayer and be like, "All right, cool." Looking forward to it. Like, end of Boxing Day, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch the Christmas special. This will be great. The knowledge that this year I'm like, maybe I'll get that Christmas Day, doesn't have me fussed at the minute. It's just,
Yeah.
Let's all just watch the bottom Christmas episode instead.
Why not? Why not?
We could all do with a bit more bottom.
Gold, Frankenstein, and Grr.
God, it's good. It is so good. How about you, gentle listener? Do you have any hype for the Doctor Who Christmas special? And if not, why do you think that is? Let us know. We're curious. Because, hey, in the next week, they could cave and give us something else, but probably not. BigDamnContact@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter anytime you like, at BigDamnCast.
That's us.
If you want to support the show, keep it basically on the internet. Pay for its storage, you bastards. Patreon.com/BigDamnCast. And better yet, you can interact live with the Big Damn Cast's most hirsute gentlemen Mondays and Fridays on twitch.tv/BigDamnStream from 7 3D.
Very
I'm currently
true.
playing God of War, which I've started as well. We're doing dueling God of Wars.
Dueling Gods of
Yeah,
Wars.
but I'm sort of playing it on different days in smaller chunks. To see
War
how I
of God
do.
of Wars.
Yeah. How are you finding it? Because I am not used to that Souls-style trigger button
love
combat. I'm getting into it. I've met Brock's brother, so you're not too far behind me.
Okay.
But that'll give you an indication as to where I've bothered to get up to at the moment when you get back to it on Friday. I'm figuring it out. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I've only just discovered how to play Among Us, Matt. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I'm playing it free on mobile because I'm a cheapskate. But anyway, there's a war on, everyone. Shut up. Anyway,
There is a war on.
let us know your Doctor Who thoughts. Let us know anything you want to know. And hey, if any pop culture happens between now and next week, we'll be here. And if no pop culture happens between now and next week, the curse says that we still have to be here. And we will!
I am the
Quill,
curse. The curse is
Wheaton.
me.
The curse is Matt. What are you eating?
Maltesers.
Oh, I'll drink to that. I mean, fuck it, I'll drink to anything these days with a war on. I'm down in it.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to the people. I'm going to have a drink.
Goodbye. Chris is drinking. Glug, 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 glug.
Oh, I forgot it was a triple.